Hello. So this will be some ride footage and just a brief overviews of my Extreme Bull Commander. This is the high torque version with the 3,000 watt motor, and the batteries are 3,600 watt hours. It's been pretty good for me. This is this is me getting on it. I got all the stats on the side there for the first half of this video, but I was just showing it off a little bit. So I'm just taking off from my house and running down the four-wheel trails. And that was one of the reasons I went with this one, because there's a lot of different sand portions. There's some sand here coming up, and it seemed like after doing a lot of different reviews and watching a lot of YouTube stuff that this one would be pretty decent in the sand, and I'm going through it there. I actually did have to stop and correct it, but normally I can get through that part just fine. And you know, just going about 20 miles an hour on the flats, and this is the little traverse and a driveway, a little bit of an incline, and there's a lot of sand in front of it and after it, and she did just fine. Still driving. I think I ended up putting like 4 miles on this trip. This is coming down the side into more sand on the trail. I had to jump off the trail to get onto the road to cross the street. Then coming up here, there's another pretty big incline. I'm gonna say it's probably like a 20 degree, and there's a lot of sand, and she handles it. I slow down a little bit going through this. I'm not an expert yet at all, but I can do it. Get up the climb in sand and still look for traffic and cross and get down. And I didn't fall off this time, so that's good. There's just more footage of just. I mean, it's almost like beach sand in some sections. I cut a lot of the flat riding out because you don't need to see the same thing over and over again. But you can see it kicking up the dust. I really like it for off-road. It does not have suspension, but I went off and just dug in a little bit too much in the sand there. I kept that one in just so I was being honest, but I think a lot of this is my ability. This is only the second time I've gone through this portion. There's another portion that I commute through that's probably got even more sand in one section, and this is a pretty good hill coming up here. It doesn't look nearly as big on the video as I was hoping, but you could see it rises over there, and at that end part it jumps up to 30 degrees, and it's all the sand, and some of the sand has all those bumps in it. I don't know if you can see that, and this is just a stock Extreme Bull 2. I haven't upgraded with any pads or foot pedals yet, which I think probably should if we're going to be doing a lot of this, and I eventually will. But here's me turning around, going over that same section, just down it. This reverse side of the hill is not as steep, but it is 10-15 degree grade, more sand. Coming up over, here's the coming up over the top and going down. I think I'm running pretty low PSI here too. Um, so I don't even hit 30 on the street here, and it's beeping at me eventually. You won't be able to hear the beeps because I silenced all the video because it was I did something to my speaker on my phone. It was not recording well at all. But then I'm hitting 28, 27. I don't like it as much on the street, especially when I bump the PSI up, but that's just because I'm not used to it a whole lot yet. And I think if I upgraded the pads and felt more secure on the foot pegs, pedals, floorboards, whatever they're called. And this is just on the trail. So I mean, you can go in excess of 20 on the flatter, not sandy portions of the trail is pretty good. And I only have a few months of experience. A lot of that was inside during the winter time, going back and forth in the hallway. Which I don't know if I would recommend doing on this particular UC, just because it's heavy and it's going to go through your drywall if you make a mistake. But I had a smaller one I was mainly practicing on, and now I'm just getting more comfortable on this larger model. And here we're just pulling back into the driveway, and yeah, it was almost 4 miles. It didn't use hardly any battery, and it was all off-road. And no. The next day here, I took it out to the local single-track mountain bike course, and you can do it with the stock model, but the lack of pads and pedals really hurts here. And this is a little low. Like I was every now and then I'd snag a root or something that I didn't even think was going to be a problem with the foot plates, and you do that, you go down, and I got footage of that coming up here pretty quick. I think I got one of them on tape fairly well. Yeah, I mean, I'm still moving pretty decently. It was fun. You just I think it would be a lot more enjoyable if I had it set up a little bit beyond the stock model. Yeah, and here's the wipeout. Just catch a little bit of root that I can't hardly even see in the video, but it just turns the commander on a dime, and I keep going forward. But you take it back out to the 4-wheel trails, or just these are horse trails. They're a lot wider and there's no roots in there. You can just bomb down them pretty good, and it's still a lot of fun. But maybe if I get it set up a little bit better for trail ride now, I'll be able to have just as much fun on the single track. And then after all this, I did air it up, put the PSI back up to right around 30, and then took it out on the street and tried to ride it as fast as I could. And I got over 30 miles an hour, but I did wipe out. And even though I'm wearing all this gear here, it was not the best. I did end up breaking a collarbone. So don't rush it if you try this. I still highly recommend getting it. I can't wait to get back on it. I'm just gonna take a little while off to repair myself, but I will not be bombing down the streets anytime soon. But I will take it out back on these trails. You know, even when you fall off here, you fall off on the soft ground, and you're not going as fast. It's, you know. So I really like it, even though I did wipe out. It's still been a blast, and I just thought I would put together this video and post it, since I'm sitting at home recovering. But thanks for watching. Any questions, go ahead and put them in the comments, and I'll get back to you. All right, later.